We are rolling. All right, we got Big John here. Tony, LPSRUS, thanks for dropping in. Thanks again for all your support, subscriptions, likes, comments. Please comment as you see fit. Give us some ideas for future segments. We're always willing to try something new to help out the vinyl community. And we learn a lot. We hope you learn something, at least, from watching these videos. Today, we're going to do something that John thought about. John has a really nice collection of import LPs, vinyl albums from around the world. What we're trying to select today is a few oddballs, odds and sods, LPs as we call them, from such countries as where?
All over South America, Europe,
Korea,
Asia,
Milano,
yes,
etc.
All kinds of crazy stuff.
Right, and John's going to carry the ball on this one.
I looked for the weirdest of the weird for my collection. I picked out a few choice ones. However, I got so many albums that I could do multiple segments. But I figure we'll just do a few for today.
This will be part one. We'll do more in the future. We will be, like I said before, please subscribe so you get notifications when we do new videos. I do quite a bit, but we're going to do a few more with John coming up next month or this month as we go to see the Dead and Company. But here's one that I chose. It's one of my favorite German artists, Heino. Heino's 84 years old right now. He's sold over 50 million records in Germany and Europe. He's not known here in the United States, but you can see him. Heino's a real rocker. This is a German press. I'll just show you the label. This sounds pretty good. Most German pressings do sound good. Here's the label, EMI.
Yeah,
correct?
Brown and tan and red EMI label. That's common with a lot of import albums. Not too common on American pressings. So
you'll see these in a lot of thrift shops. People, donate a lot of their record collections. You'll see a lot of these imports. And pick up a Heino. Every collector should have at least one Heino. It's just cool.
It's okay to grab a Heino every once in a while.
He's almost like the German version of Roy Orbison in a way here with the glasses. Only he has white hair. And in the back, you could see his other records, some of his few records.
Personally, I have no idea who he is. I've never heard of him.
It's a great name. Well, John's up with
I did hear of this guy.
That's a really nice one. That's my copy.
This is a beautiful 3-record BBC set. It's not mine. It's Tony's. I wish I had this in my collection. Italian press. It's very nice.
This is an Italian press, and it's remastered for vinyl. I picked this up at a record show of probably about 10, 15 years ago, and I thought I was being overcharged. It was $25. They probably got it for $20. It's mint, and it's a triple set. And my friend Tony out there, who I worked with in Vogels, knows about this record. This is an incredible record. This is on the Abraxas label, and it's from
Italy.
Firenze, Italy, hot Italy. And it's listen to this, John. Distributed in North America by Runt. So I wonder if that's Todd Rundgren Runt.
Possibly, possibly.
Well, this is an Italian pressing. Very nice record.
Speaking of Italian pressing, it's another one of Tony's albums. Now, I don't know this version of this album, but this is like the best of the 3 penny opera, which I personally love. I actually transferred my copy of the 3 penny opera, and I have it on my phone. I listen to it often. This is an Italian pressing. I'm not sure how old it is, which recording it is. It's from Tony's collection.
And can you tell her that Kurt is married to who?
Lotte Lenya, who was in Dr. No. She was the
from Russia
with Love. That's right. Russia with Love.
That was a test, by the way. We are Bond people. And
he's one of the Bond people.
I collect these because of her, Rosa Klebb. Rosa Klebb. She was a fine German actress. Rest in peace.
All right.
This is a Christmas present you gave me once.
This is really, really cool. An oddball album. It's a white label promo of a Percy Sledge album. This is no major hits on it, but
Did he do When a Man Loves a Woman?
He did When a Man Loves a Woman, but this is not that album. This is one of his later ones.
And it says sample on here. I wonder why. It's because it's a promo. It was a promo. In Europe, they called it sample. I'll open that, John. You continue to
okay.
Do your spiel.
All right. So Percy Sledge was a very well-known singer. He was on Atlantic Records in the 60s, early 70s. And this particular album, I had to give. I used to import albums from Japan for me, and I had to give.
That's a beautiful pressing.
This is a beautiful, beautiful record.
That's a beautiful
white
pressing.
Label promo. Whenever you see these 3 characters on the label, see if I can get a. That means it's for sample for radio stations.
Can you see that there? Oh, is that what that is in Japanese?
Yes, that's what that is.
See that? Okay, thank you. Okay.
And
next up, I
have another. This one's from my personal collection. I cleaned it.
Sounds fabulous.
This is an Al Hurt Japanese white label pressing, test pressing. This is a promo test pressing. I saw this and I imported it from Japan. I used to bundle albums, and I needed to get X amount of albums to make it worth my while. I don't know if you can see that label.
No, it's kind of with the light, but I'll show you the jacket. This is on a flimsy, jacket. It has Japanese. That's how they made it. It's like a lot of the are like this. It's a flimsy. This is not flimsy in the sense of cheap. That's the way they were made.
It was pressed in 1965. I have similar American versions. The American one is on the Audio Fidelity label, which, if you could find anything Audio Fidelity, it's going to sound
the Louis Armstrongs on this label.
Dixieland, it's just albums, Al Hurt,
mouth-watering, ear-watering, as we say in the business. It's an audiophile label before there was a term audiophile.
All right, the next I'm going to do as a lot.
Let me hold up one of these here. Okay.
All right. This is a lot of Tom Jones Japanese pressings, and what I would do is I would bundle my pressings. I get Pink Floyd, or Stones, whatever from Japan, but I needed to fill a quota to make it worth my while to ship. And Tony, I know, loves Tom Jones. So if I saw a Tom Jones album on my Japanese website, Vinyl Garage Japan, I would fill a box and I would give him the Tom Jones just to keep the shipping costs down. And
these are fabulous.
Wonderful Christmas
These
presents.
are fabulous records. And there's more. We also have more Tom Jones, but we didn't include them. We're trying to.
These are just the Japanese pressings.
Here you can see the beautiful back cover on this, and a little different from the American cover. And
I don't think that one's ever released in the U.S. Was it?
Yes, this is actually a cover. Okay. I believe so. Now, just a little background on me and Tom. I met Tom on 2 occasions. Once in Atlantic City, he was playing a concert, and after the show, we had different friends, and he was at a table, a few tables down, with his entourage, his group. And when he got up to, move around a little bit, I didn't interrupt him during dinner, of course, but asked him for an autograph, asked him for a photo, signed some things, took photos with me. Jump ahead 2 years, he was playing at the State Theater in Pennsylvania, in Easton, Pennsylvania, and I had the photos of him and I blown up, and I had 2 copies. I asked him to sign 1 copy for me, and just as a gesture, I gave him a copy. He was so nice. I met him outside by the tour bus, and he was so great. And if you ever see Tom Jones talk about his music and himself, he's so humble. He is one person. If I have a second here, John, he belongs to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Tom Jones does, as well as many others.
I'm surprised he's not.
But Sir Tom Jones, I know. And the real, look at this. Look at that shot. But the real, and I also have a few albums signed by him. But the real tragedy is, or not tragedy, but maybe an unfairness for the time. He has 1 Grammy, and just think he sold 200 million records, more than Hino, actually. He has 1 Grammy for Best New Artist. I believe that was in 1964, and never got a Grammy again. Maybe was nominated, but never got a Grammy again. But
His latest one of his later
latest album
albums
is great. The last
fantastic.
album is great. It's on vinyl.
Yeah.
A lot of his later releases weren't on vinyl. I bought them all on disc. But that's Tom Jones. So God bless Tom Jones.
All right, next one. I'm not sure what this is.
That's Beatles.
It looks like some kind of crazy
Beatle thing.
I'm not even sure if it's a Japanese pressing. Yeah, it is.
Is it Korean or is it Japanese?
It's Japanese.
I'll hold that up for you.
I don't know what that is. So,
well, we picked this up in one of my crate digging. I buy anything Beatles, and this is Beatles related. And let me just see if there's an English on here. Oh, Here Comes the Sun, In My Life, Here, There, and Everywhere, Norwegian Wood, A Day in the Life. So it's Koto plays the Beatles, and it's a bunch of Beatle hits. This is made in Japan. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Speaking of the Beatles.
Oh, they come up a lot in these videos.
This one here, somebody gave it to me as a Christmas present. It's a Uruguayan pressing.
Very rare.
Los Beatles.
And let me just read what the back says. The back says, Disco as cultura, which means culture of disco.
Culture of discs.
Of discs. Culture of discs. And this is Uruguayan.
I
don't know where I got this, how I got it, but
yeah, well, I was curious.
It's very nice.
Yeah, and this one is this is on the EMI Odeon label. This is a really cool label. Let's see if I can get this open.
I'll do that.
All right.
You can show that next.
Okay, the next Beatles is a South American. This one is Chilean pressing. I got this as part of a hoard, a Beatles hoard, imports. Most of them, they were all UK pressings, but this Chilean one kind of slipped in. And the guy who sold it to me gave it to me at a very cheap price. This one, I cleaned it. It's VG. This is, but it's got the green and the tan and red EMI label, which is common on foreign pressings.
John, here's that label for you.
This one is a Uruguayan Odeon label.
Very nice.
Yeah, very, very nice.
Very nice.
Uruguayan Odeon.
I love the color. I have a few Beatles from Odeon, and I believe the color is a little darker blue, but that's a German label.
It's an EMI label.
It's an EMI label.
It's used around the world. The next one is a really weird one. I found this in Belmore, New York, a record store near my brother called Justin Records. I used to go there all the time. An actual physical record store. One time I went with Tony, and I found this.
Look at that beautiful gatefold.
Beautiful gatefold.
No booklet.
I don't know if this one has the booklet,
right?
Because it's a Greek.
It might be separate
Greek pressing.
That's a Greek pressing, by the way.
Yeah, it's my only Greek Beatle album.
How's that? Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah. Also with the brown EMI, but it's pressed in Greece.
Yeah, this is mint. This is beautiful.
A beautiful copy. I cleaned it. It's just a fantastic record. It's actually my very first album. Like I mentioned in an earlier posting, my brother's first record was the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour. He got it when it first came out. And my first record, when I first started buying records, 10 years later, 1977, was also the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour. And that happened to be our prom theme that year.
This is a nice one.
All right. One of the things I like to do is travel. And I also like to, when I travel, I like to find records. In the old days, it was much easier to bring records back because the airlines didn't care As long as you had 2 bags, they didn't care what the size was, how heavy it was. So I would go and bring an empty suitcase in some cases. In the late vinyl era, when CDs were becoming more and more popular, vinyl records were less and less popular, and I would capitalize on that. In Paris, I went to a record store. There was a whole row of record stores, and they're all dumping their vinyl.
Here's the label.
Mostly
label.
European pressings and such. In this case, we were in Copenhagen in 2001, and this is a Danish pressing of the Beatles' greatest hits. It's from Denmark.
John, did you point out that this was from Secondhand Records?
In Denmark.
In Denmark, Secondhand Records.
I bought this in Copenhagen.
Secondhand Records in Copenhagen. Anything else in Denmark did you pick up?
I picked up that your Bond poster.
Can you talk about anything else on? Well, we'll save that.
I bought a Bond poster for Tony.
I still have that poster, of course.
Diamonds are forever. All right.
Y'all.
Now,
hello out there. Thanks again for watching, people, and thanks again for supporting us. We really appreciate it. Now we're going to continue with this, and it's going to be long because we have a lot to go through. This is only part 1.
All right. This one here.
This is mine, actually.
I actually went on eBay and wanted Tony to have a copy. This
is why.
It has a Sandro Botticelli RCA label. And it's The Who. The Who are not known for being on RCA in the United States. As a matter of fact, The Who, when they released their music, they were on all different major record labels around the world. In the U.S., they were known to be on MCA, Decca.
Tracks in Europe.
Track was different labels. In Europe, they were on Polydor, and in Japan, they were on Polydor and Columbia, CBS Sony. But in Italy, they were on RCA. And this is an actual RCA release. And my brother, we used to have a record store in Albany called Just a Song. Just a Song had all these really interesting cutouts and colored vinyl and imports. Amazing, amazing records, mostly $2.99 each. And I missed out on this one. My brother found this album for $2.99 at Just a Song. I really, really, really wanted it. So I went on eBay and I found a copy. Somebody had it. I paid like $12 for it.
And if you don't know this album, this is a fantastic Who album.
This is fantastic pressing. This is probably the most desired pressing.
This pressing is just as good as the UK and American pressing.
Yeah.
And just for the pedigree, it's produced by Glenn Johns, probably engineered as well, and mastered by the famous Doug Sachs at the Mastering Lab. So this sounds great, and it's a beautiful.
We played it. I
just
cleaned
played
it
today. Yep.
It's an amazing record, and I have a copy. Also on the Who. Now I have a German box set called Phases, and I keep finding them. Somebody in Idaho and the farm has it. Has it. I find it online for like $99. But this album is a compilation.
Nice. I've never seen this before.
This is really odd.
This is odds and sods.
This album
has a beautiful gatefold.
It's a German pressing. Has unique artwork to only the German market.
Carousel.
And it's on the gold Carousel label. This is a beautiful record. It's basically Sellout and Quick One as a double package.
Wow. It has this sound.
It sounds great.
There's a spine.
Although, wait. That's the Carousel label. You can see it. Gold label, nice. German pressing. It's absolutely gorgeous. Nice record to have in the collection. Of course, I have other German pressings of it.
And where did you find this? In Germany?
No, I bought
this online.
Yeah, I bought that online.
All right.
And now, as I mentioned before, the Who were on different labels in different countries. We think of them as MCA in the U.S. In Europe, they're on Polydor. But in Japan, is one of my prize
We just
albums.
played this. It sounds fantastic.
This is an amazing sounding record.
With the
Sony, CBS Sony. This is a Columbia pressing in Japan.
Very odd.
CBS. It's not odd to them because most of the Who albums were in Japan were released on CBS.
That's incredible. With the booklet,
it has everything.
Insert. It has an insert with the Japanese narration. It has photographs from the Who in concert.
And this is one of the best sounding copies of Quadrophenia I know of, and it's on the Columbia CBS Sony label.
And by the way, this is an absolute mint copy. The booklet has a different texture to it, and it meticulously reproduced the UK and American pressing.
It's a great
fabulous
copy. I have a German copy. I have an original tracks. I have a Decca copy. I have multiple copies of this album. This one's my favorite by far.
Very nice, John.
All right, now let's go over to Floyd.
Floyd.
Yeah, we were testing out all the different versions of Wish You Were Here. We were having fun. This one, I had to have. I saw it on eBay, a reasonably priced. Some guy in South Korea had it, and I had to have it. This is a one-eye Columbia copy of Wish You Were Here.
You probably never heard the term one eye. I know John told me about the one eye.
Yeah, Columbia, what we know of is the eye. You see that yellow top portion? That's the Columbia logo. CBS Records, but this is South Korea. And this
is meant.
This is.
It also has an insert which depicts what was in the American.
This is the South Korean inner sleeve, which I thought was fascinating. It advertises Columbia Records, CBS Sony, and it has an insert. It didn't come with the postcards or the.
But here's a picture of the postcards.
Because this is basically a reissue. Explains everything about the album in Korean. I thought this was a fun album to have in the collection.
Very nice. I
have multiple copies, and this is a very special album because I had it when it first came out on cassette, and I had multiple copies over the years of it. And it's really I consider that my first real Floyd album. That's the album that really turned me on to Floyd. And also, speaking of Wish You Were Here's, I got as a Christmas present this copy. Also, Wish You Were Here. This one pressed by a different label. That one's pressed by CBS in South Korea and Seoul. This one's pressed in Sweden. And we played it. The sonics on it are great. This particular copy is a little bit worn. There's some crackling.
Just some crackling, but nothing.
Nothing major.
It's not overwhelming.
It's shiny. It's got nice gloss.
And here, John, there's a little indentation of EMI pressed into the vinyl.
The Europeans do that. They do that
nice.
A lot with German pressings.
So you could see there, can't see it on film, but right there, it's just pressed in like a stamp.
Now, I got this as a Christmas present. I don't know where Tony found this.
I will never review the sources, but I know I didn't spend a lot of money. But John, well deserved.
Okay, next one. Okay, here's a pretty odd one. It has an alternate cover.
Wow, I like the texture here.
This is an Israeli copy of Bob Dylan's greatest hits.
I've never seen that photo.
I've never seen.
It looks like a blonde on blonde haircut, maybe.
The version that we know is a blue cover, and it comes with the Paul Glasser poster. This is the Israeli version, and it's on the orange Columbia label. It sounds pretty good. It has some crackles to it, but not bad. I consider this a VG Plus copy.
This is very nice.
I found it on eBay. Somebody in the U.S. had it, and they got it very cheap. And I really like it.
Never seen this before. Very nice.
Yeah, it's real impressive.
I'll never see that again.
Now, this next one is a real oddity. What makes this one strange I got this one as a Christmas present. I cleaned it. I haven't played it yet.
I think I gave you this.
You gave it to me. This is the only Hong Kong pressing I know of any vinyl. I didn't even know they were able to press albums in Hong
Look
Kong.
who they picked.
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson, the Universal. Now I know I found this at a used record store, which is attached to a pawn shop, and I said, "Well, this is something that I'll hold on to." So when Christmas time comes around, there's the actual record with the insert. This is absolutely mint.
Now, what makes this album so unusual is Hong Kong is a small, compact city with large scale skyscrapers like Manhattan. And it's a city-state of sorts, and was controlled by the English until 1996 when they handed it over to the Chinese.
I believe they had a 100-year lease.
100-year lease and ended in 1996. So I'm thinking, how the heck would they have the space enough to press vinyl records? And the only Chinese pressings I know are pressed in Taiwan. They usually have flimsy jackets.
This is an American type release.
It's more like a Japanese type, and it has the look and the feel of a Japanese press.
Do you think these were outsourced? No.
No, this is pressed in Hong Kong.
Pressed in Hong Kong.
It was pressed in Hong Kong.
This is a perfect copy.
And I don't know how did you found this in the thrift store?
I believe I found this in a thrift store,
or paid like
a used record store. No,
okay.
A used record store. No, I would pay more than $1 if this is something that the owner of the store would know what it was. But there's not a big demand for Willie Nelson import, especially Korean, or Hong Kong rather. So I knew John would want this. And I actually wrote on here for Big John Hong Kong pressing. So you can see that's my scribble there.
Yeah, that's a major cool record. I love it. I'm going to have to transfer that one, digitize that. Now the next one is a really, really weird one. We gave it a
spin today.
We gave it a spin today. It's a Queen live album that I'm not.
This is clear vinyl, isn't it?
No, it's not clear vinyl. That's the inner sleeve. Let me open that up. This is basically a live album of their. In 1986, there was a movie called The Highlander, and the Queen album was A Kind of Magic in 1986. And that was the soundtrack for the movie The Highlander.
This is a gorgeous.
This is their live
cover.
Tour from that. So I saw this album. I don't know where the heck I got it from. And it's my only Indian pressing. It's actually pressed
from India.
India.
Wow.
And Indian pressings are very, very expensive if you see them online.
It's a beautiful laminated cover.
So I'm not. I really don't know how this wound up in the collection. I probably got it as part of
It's actually the company is from Calcutta.
Pressed in Calcutta,
wow.
India.
It's a great shot of the guys in concert, and really nice guitar work on here. It seems as if it was a digital source. We listened to it. But the guitar,
it sounds pretty good. I thought it sounded very good.
Sounds decent.
It's a live album,
86, and I haven't heard this material live, like you said. It's from that tour.
Again, it's from the
Highlander soundtrack.
The Highlander soundtrack.
They also did the soundtrack to Flash Gordon.
Yes. I think that was a little earlier than that.
Right.
All right. The next album is a real oddity. This one I got. At a garage sale in Long Beach. You purchased from our friend there.
Very nice.
I paid $1 for this.
Very nice. The association.
But what's weird about this one, it's pressed in Brazil.
Wow. John triple packs his vinyl.
Yeah, because I want the covers
and the covers are going to last far beyond those of Mortal Men. And what is this? The original inner?
That's the inner.
Show that.
It's pressed on the Som Mayor label, which is
here's the
in the U.S. In the U.S. it's on the Valiant label. circa 1965 or so. This is the album that has Cherish, that was their big hit. I believe that on Alone Comes Mary.
This has such an elaborate label on it. There's so much information on that label. Look at that.
Yeah, this is a beautiful label. It's a mono, and it's if you can see it.
This must sound good. I haven't listened to this yet.
I don't know. It's a Brazilian pressing. I haven't played it yet. But
you have to play it on a Brazilian turntable.
Yeah.
That goes with those. Okay. Right. Next we have. We're going to try to move along. This is one of my favorite Santana records of all time.
Okay, remember?
If you don't know this one.
Remember I said Taiwanese has flimsy covers. This is an actual Taiwanese.
This is like a paper cover.
Paper cover, but they put it in an outer plastic.
But look at that. Look at the back there.
I actually cleaned this and played it. It sounds pretty good. There are a couple crackles on it.
But that's not the pressing. That's just the way it was treated earlier. But it's actually very nice label.
Yeah, it's the Taiwanese pressing of Santana's Caravanserai.
It's amazing that we say it's a small world now with the internet and travel and supersonic planes and private jets and all, but the world was a small place because of vinyl. Vinyl would be given to the sailors, dropped off at ports. It would make the world seem a closer place. In Russia, when they could not get American records, they would smuggle them in. Beatle records, Rolling Stone records. I remember watching a documentary where this kid, because records were banned, American records were banned, he actually built a machine, I don't know if you saw this, that reproduced records he would buy from hospitals and doctors' offices X-ray paper, the X-ray, the film. He would press the record onto that. And they said he made over 1 million pressings of American records and UK records and European records for Russia consumers on X-ray film.
Wow,
it's amazing. It's an amazing story.
Later, though, some releases came out. For example, this one. They were a series of 4 Rolling Stones albums. I was only able to find one. This is their early stuff.
Is this mono, John?
This is mono, released for the Russian market on the Melodia. Melodia was the only record label.
And it says here Moho. Is Moho mono?
Mono. Probably means mono.
Moho. Back to Moho. Wow, this is beautiful. I've never seen this, John. This is.
I transferred it.
I want to thank John for this segment because this is a great. Odds and size from around the world. Wow.
And also, not only did they release this Rolling Stones, but the most legendary Rolling Stones is Sticky Fingers. We mentioned earlier that the Russian version had the belt buckle of the Russian army on the cover. Same zipper cover, but it had the Russian belt buckle on it.
Remember the Spain copy in the original cover with the sticky fingers coming out of a tin can, of a sauce can. And here's a great one here. I remember this one.
I think I got this as a Christmas present. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this is a very nice. You gave me this one. Now, what is this?
This is Hong Kong.
Hong Kong again.
Hong Kong pressing.
It's not
Hong Kong.
Paper.
I'm sorry, Taiwanese.
Taiwanese.
This is a Taiwanese pressing.
That's
pink
beautiful.
Label. It's very cool.
For all of you out there that collect the rare imports, I want to get your feedback on these. Let me know what you have, and if you could send me a photo or show us on your channel, we would love to see these. And this is a great Styx record. So
this is they picked one of my favorite.
They picked one of the best.
One of my favorite.
It's funny. The songs are in English back here. They're not written in the language of the press.
All right, the next one is also a Styx record. I'm kind of embarrassed to have this because this is a Japanese pressing of a really, really Japanese album. It's almost offensive to Japanese people. I don't know how or why, but It's a Japanese
Kilroy was
pressing
here.
of Kilroy was here.
Right.
And it's very cool. It's not
nice.
really an oddball. It's sold very well around the world.
Is this an Obi on here, or is
it
that
has an Obi? Yes,
it has an Obi on here.
An Obi.
Wow, very nice.
Yeah,
and this is a sturdy Japanese
Japanese
cover. This is one I remember.
Here's one I got as a Christmas present. I don't know. Well, Tony gave it to me. I don't know where he got it from.
Well, this was originally owned by a John Kahn on here. John, if you're out there, we found your record in a used record shop. It was innocently priced because no one could understand what was on it, so I picked it up.
I know what's on it. I'm a huge Ray Charles fan. I love Ray Charles.
The Ray Charles on Gamma, ABC Paramount.
It's Mexican pressing.
Mexican pressing. We forgot to point
out. Mexican, and I cleaned it. It looks really.
And we had Mexican tonight. We had Mexican food tonight.
Yeah. This is what a Mexican ABC Paramount.
That was clean.
Looks like.
It sounds flawless.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
Sounds good.
Although this one's I would rate as VG. There's some scuffs on. I'm sure there's some crackles. I haven't really played it much.
The Genius of Ray Charles. That's what that is. The Genius of Ray Charles. El Genio del Rey. Here you go, John.
Okay.
And we're moving along. We got a few more, so bear with us.
All right.
And just in case you guys wait one, if you haven't seen enough Hino yet, just remember Hino.
It goes well with Heineken.
Yeah, it goes which is a Dutch, not a German.
Yeah. Okay, next one. This is not really a rare
that's a
one.
nice cover.
It's a Japanese pressing of Peter, Paul, and Mary. And I thought this was a very interesting record because it has...
Tell us again how you got... The company is no longer in business?
A company called Vinyl Garage Japan.
Here's the vinyl inner.
Yeah,
Japanese
this is the most beautiful inner sleeve I've ever seen on any record. It has mostly Western or artists, a lot of
European artists,
and some Japanese artists, and it has this interesting envelope fold over and has something written in Japanese, and it's in perfect condition.
That's very rare.
Just a little discolored during their age. I thought this inner sleeve was very, very interesting.
And this is on what label?
This is a Warner, probably around between 68 and 72.
And look at this gorgeous photo.
And you know how I know it has a booklet in it? There's a beautiful copy. I got this for $1. And
now this was not an American
I
issue,
imported it. I paid another $10 to ship it, so I paid about $11. But what's nice about this, it's a red pressing. The Japanese would press their early pressings on red vinyl. The later ones were black. So this is an early pressing, probably a first run of this Peter, Paul, Mary album. And I would say because it has the W7 logo, it's probably pressed in 1967, 68.
This is it's almost a textured silk type of finish on here, gold finish.
It has a horizontal OB, not a vertical OB, which Warner released a series of records in Japan with that OB.
And as far as costs go, John, as far as the original yen, what were these going for in Japan?
Oh,
does this have a yen on it?
This one was 2,200 yen.
And do you know
in American dollars that would probably be $22? But in 1967, $22 probably the equivalent of $50 today. So
probably more.
$50, $60.
If you figure we would buy the American counterpart for $4 or $5 at that year, they were paying 4 times the amount, and they were doing it with thankful that they could do it. And that's why a lot of Japanese tourists would come to New York City, and they would buy out the stores, especially the jazz records, the Blue Note, the Impulse.
Yeah, to them, the American pressings.
The Blue Note and Impulse are unsurpassed.
Even rock stuff,
unsurpassed.
There's another one. This one's even older. Also Peter, Paul, and Mary. I don't normally do these Japanese because I don't consider them that weird, but this one,
I love the artwork.
This, I believe, is from 1965.
And this is a Vitacone, right?
Vitaphonic.
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 And that's also red.
Yep, first pressing. Vitaphonic. Also, nobody wanted Peter, Paul, and Mary. I happen to like their music, and I thought this was interesting.
Clear,
I got this very, very inexpensively.
Transparent red. Wow.
It's just a cool record.
And the gold records here indicate what? Mono?
Stereo. Stereo.
And silver
are the mono ones.
Silver are the mono ones.
So there was a mono version of this.
So they replicated.
This one's a stereo.
This is stereo. Gold. Let's keep that together there.
Yeah. And
now
we're getting to the real odd stuff.
Right.
Now, Tony and I would often go shopping in Easton, Pennsylvania, this Easton Record Exchange, and we would find bargain records. And this one I thought was fascinating. Joe Jackson. This is the Joe Jackson Night and
album.
Day. I have multiple copies. I found a Dutch one, same pile, and I have a Japanese one that I bought from Vinyl Garage Japan. But this is from a country that doesn't exist anymore. This is a Yugoslavian pressing.
That's amazing.
And I don't think I paid. It was in the dollar bin, but when you bought multiple copies,
he would give us a break.
Usually I would get them for 20 cents or a quarter a piece. so I paid a quarter for this. And it's in mint condition.
It's amazing.
It's a Yugoslavian.
We'll give a shout out to the Record Exchange. We love these guys. Tom's out there. Used to be Nick, and they do a really nice job. Very nice to their customers. Thanks, guys.
All right.
And the label is two-tone label as well.
Yeah,
like it
looks
kind
of like the
domestic
version. The next one, I used to. I lived in Astoria, and I went to Queens, and there's shops around there. There was a Woolworths. The Woolworths had a bin, one of those spindly racks with albums sticking out of it. And they had a bunch of copies of this. $2.99, Elvis Costello. And I saw it was pressed in Greece. Still in the shrink. I'm the sole owner. I cracked it open. I bought this sometime in the early 90s.
Is this a custom stamp on here? What is that stamp?
Yeah, that stamp.
It's a custom
all the
stamp.
Greek records have a stamp like that somewhere on the record.
And it's actually not on the shrink. It's actually on the paper. So before it becomes
they put the
wrapped,
shrink on,
it's stamped.
And also on the label.
It's also on the label.
Yeah, turn it the other way. FB.
Here, can you see it now? Yeah,
it's an FB.
That's FB, which is the British
label, but this is a Greek pressing.
Made in Greece, yep.
And Greek pressings are unusual. And I have actually been to Greece, and I wanted to go record shopping, and I couldn't find the record store until a Sunday, right before I left. And I found the great record store, but unfortunately they were closed on Sunday, and I never had a chance to buy any Greek records in Greece.
A younger John would have never let that happen.
Yes. All right, the next one. This is a fun one. Now we're getting to the real unusual stuff.
Hold on, we're almost there.
This one is a New Zealand pressing.
Wow, I've never seen this.
I've never seen a New Zealand pressing of
the
anything.
Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
I found this at a yard sale. I think I paid like $1 for it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
your eyes must have popped out.
I saw this. I'm like, what the heck
I've
is
never
this?
seen this cover.
Yeah.
It's probably only.
This is later Nitty Gritty.
It's 16 tracks featuring. It's a greatest hits: Mr. Bojangles, Some of Shelley's Blues, Jambalaya, House of Pooh Corner, Battle of New Orleans. They're very nice, very nice.
It's a New Zealand United Artist pressing.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, now
keep rolling, keep rocking.
All right, another album I found. I believe I picked this up in Paris during that where they had all kinds of European pressings.
I can't believe you got this in Paris.
Yeah. there's a Yugoslavian
Yeah,
pressing
stamp
of Duke,
Yugoslavia.
one of the last of Genesis progressive rock era albums. And this is a Yugoslavian on the Philips label.
Very nice. This jacket's mint.
Yeah,
You bought this in Paris.
I bought that as part of that hoard.
This was in Paris, yeah.
I bought that in Paris.
Now, what is this, Zlanta?
Zlanta, that means gold. I think that means gold. Zlanta.
Wow.
It's a gold record. I guess it did very well in Yugoslavia. They sold enough.
I want to thank John again for his insight into these odds and sods records from around the world. Very nice.
Now I got two more, and brace yourself. These are real oddities. I have no idea how these got into the world, but this next one, this one's a real crazy record. I found this in Barcelona. We were traveling in 1999, my first trip as a railroad employee, my first international trip. And again, this is during the era where they were dumping records because the CDs were popular. Nobody wanted records.
What a record this is. I'll open it, John.
This is an amazing record. We should play test this. I wanted to play test this.
We'll play test it tomorrow.
This is a Bulgarian. I'm not making this up. This is an actual Bulgarian pressing of Genesis Abacat.
And it's on Vertigo.
No, it's on Balkaton.
No, but the original Vertigo.
Well, Vertigo is
from the original. UK, yeah, but they gave him credit here.
And this is actually a beautiful looking European pressing. I haven't played it. I have it for novelty, but I cleaned it. It's ready to go.
What was this price on that? There's a price on that. Is that
400 pesetas, probably like $3-4.
Wow, very nice.
Because they were getting. I remember nobody wanted vinyl. And if you're ever in Barcelona, and if this place still exists,
give a shout out.
This is the actual bag of the place. And what's unusual about this bag? Remember I mentioned earlier, there was a record store in Albany called Just a Song, and the proprietor there was a guy named Jim Furlong, who I happen to know, and he's kind of a celebrity in the Albany area. He was the lead singer of a band called the ADs, and he had a record store called Last Vestige Records, and he looks just like this guy on the Impacto box.
Oh, boy.
He looks just like that.
Wow.
And so if you're in Barcelona, that's near the Las Rambla, if that record store is still there,
very nice.
That's where I got that
very
record.
Nice.
But now the weirdest of the weird, the oddest of the odd, this is, I can't believe this exists. Now, remember in an earlier post, I went to York, Pennsylvania, and they had records, and I held in my hand an actual original pressing of the 13th floor elevators. Well, eventually I found one.
Well, what country?
Well, let's check this out. I found this album with my cousin Tom. We used to go into the city. We used to walk from Astoria to J&R Music World in Lower Manhattan, and I actually found a rack of these. And I paid $8 for it for a sealed copy.
Wow!
I bought this new sealed. It's on the Warner Electra Atlantic Greek pressing. I seem to have a lot of Greek pressings, but these are all my Greek pressings. This is the weirdest of the weird because it's a very obscure, well, not obscure, but it's a cult album in the U.S. And it's an early 80s Greek reissue. And it was only $8 at the time.
Yeah, the label is still on here, JR label.
Yep.
Well, I remember you coming back from J&R with unbelievable pressings. For one example, Beatles Live at the BBC, which was a triple record.
I didn't get from. I got that.
Was that J&R?
No, I bought that in New Jersey in the shopping mall near. What's that shopping mall that's near
Woodbridge?
The one that near your parents' house.
Menlo Park.
Menlo Park. Yeah,
Menlo.
put that there.
What record store?
That was that chain, that CD.
Crazy Eddie's.
No, that other chain. I think they sold videos.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't remember the name,
but you picked up some great things there.
They had mostly CDs, and they only had like two vinyl records. One of them was the Beatles live at the Beat,
and no one was buying records at
had
the time.
5 copies. I bought all 5 copies. They were $4.99 each, and they were British pressings, and they were sealed.
And now they're
UK
going
pressing.
for 200, 300 bucks.
Yeah. I
typical.
gave them away. I think I flipped one of them. I got a few bucks for it,
which is typical of what that. Well, John, great show. Any closing remarks? It's a great. We have more coming.
There are more coming. These are the oddest of the odd that I could find. But I could do 20 of these episodes with. And I'm also like original pressings. I like classic jazz. I like rock, classical. I could do one on classical. I could go on and on. But my specialty is I like the imports.
The imports are nice. I always try to find some rare oddball stuff because the run of the mill just saying are UK pressings, because we had always gotten UK pressings here in the States. Japanese pressings are exotic, hard to find, they're expensive, and they sound really good if depending on the mastering. But John, once again, a great segment. Really appreciate you coming over. John's from New York, so he came over to visit, and we did a few of these. And we'll be doing more. Like I said, in a few weeks, we'll be seeing the Dead & Company.
That's right.
With Sean, who was on our last segment. And we'll be shooting from the parking lot. And whatever else I could get away with at the time.
Don't forget, keep crate digging. And if you see a hino, grab a hino.
If you see this guy, watch your children, okay? Watch this guy. This guy's amazing.
Grab your hino.
Yeah, but if you see here, he sold over 50 million records, and the records are pretty cool. He's got a great voice. So this is on Electro, German press, I believe, right?
That's on a major label.
Yeah.
That's EMI, I believe. EMI. Yeah.
Well, his company was Electro.
Yeah, EMI.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. Keep rocking. Hope you like and
rock hard.
Please subscribe. Please like. We really appreciate it, and we'll be seeing you guys soon. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. Cheers.